Hello, everybody, and welcome to Apex Hours. Today, I'm going to talk about the B2C Solution Architect certification. Thank you for joining me today to learn more about the B2C Solution Architect program. A quick reminder that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, and customers should base their purchasing and partnership decisions on products and services that are currently available. With that out of the way, hello, my name is Anup Jadhav. I'm part of the Architect Success team at Salesforce, and I lead the Solution Architect program. The Architect Success team's mandate is enablement. Our job is to enable the partners, the customers, and the ecosystem onto what their career paths need to look like to be a B2B and B2C solution architect. Our goals today are simple. You want to know more about becoming a certified B2C solution architect. So we will talk about who a B2C solution architect is and the knowledge and skills needed to become one. I'll also tell you how to get started, and we want to talk about your path to success. I'll walk you through what you need to be successful on your path to becoming a B2C solution architect. Right. So we'll hear this term multi-cloud a lot today. So let's get the definition out of the way. When we say multi-cloud, what we mean is the multiple clouds like sales and service cloud, marketing cloud, commerce cloud, Heroku even. Basically all of the clouds that are part of the 360-degree wheel and part of the Salesforce ecosystem. Now, It it's more than that though. Multi-cloud could be multi-channel, multi-department, and multi-stakeholder. It's about the clouds coming together, but it's equally the work required in organizations to make them work together. The takeaway here is that multi-cloud projects are as much a culture change project involving people and process as it is a technology change project. So, who is a solution architect? Here's our definition. A Salesforce solution architect delivers domain-specific multi-cloud solutions on the Salesforce platform to create frictionless customer experiences that maximize business value. The two things to emphasize here is that a solution architect delivers domain-specific and multi-cloud solutions. Now, when you think about implementations in the context of a product, you get a product specialist architect. We have a CPQ architect or a marketing cloud architect. But a solution architect thinks about implementation in the context of a customer and their end user. A customer doesn't want CPQ. They want the capability to create and manage complex product structures or complex pricing rules or dynamic quoting. So you're not really giving them CPQ, you are giving them the ability to do that. And of course, the ability to do that might mean that you have data flowing from other systems or between systems. You might have leads coming in from Commerce Cloud, or you might be sending order data to an ERP, external enterprise software, or you might be doing revenue acknowledgement within Tableau or CRM analytics. Hence the multi-cloud aspect of this job. Now, the reason this definition is articulated this way is because we want to enable architects to be customer-centric. This focus on customer-centric outcome means the emphasis is less on I'm giving you a product and more on I'm giving you a solution. So when we look at solution architects, it's in terms of these three pillars of leadership: business, delivery, and technical leadership. But why leadership? Why talk about it in these terms? This is because we strongly believe that a solution architect should be able to articulate the value the solution is providing to all stakeholders. It's not just about telling the developers or administrators how to build something. It's not just about telling the IT folks what's going to be built or convincing the business that it's worth their time and money to build it. but it really is a matter of if someone owns the overall map of the solution itself. There needs to be an individual or a practitioner who leads the overall solution. And that is what we expect a solution architect to do. Now, because of the emphasis on customer centricity that we talked about earlier, and the emphasis on multi cloud, means that these kinds of implementations are complex. And therefore, these implementations really need a leader. And we think that you are the de facto leader who demonstrates leadership in business delivery and technical pillars. And here's our definition of Salesforce B2C Solution Architect. Salesforce B2C Solution Architect has the knowledge, skills, and experience architecting and driving multi-cloud solutions that deliver business value for the customer. Their expertise lies mainly or primarily in B2C or B2B2C scenarios and use cases. And what does that expertise look like? In a typical B2C multi-cloud implementation, you will see some or all of these clouds or systems being used. As a B2C architect, you need to be familiar with these clouds and technologies, and especially how you can combine them to create a solution that serves the needs and expectations of the end user. Now, what I'm not saying is that you need to be an expert in all of the clouds shown here. If a solution leans heavily on one cloud or capability, you're still the right person for the job. What's important is that you understand their strengths and weaknesses at a high level, and you need to understand or demonstrate that you know how they all come together. Now, the technical knowledge is great, but a B2C architect needs to also demonstrate strong domain knowledge and deep solution expertise, and they also need to possess organizational and communication skills. So we talked about what a solution architect, B2C solution architect is. Let's briefly spend some time understanding why you should invest your time and effort in becoming a B2C solution architect. The main reason being B2C solutions are not easy. You have to keep the end user or the individual in mind when designing B2C solutions. This individual, this customer expects a lot and can do a lot. If I'm buying new headphones, for example, I'm probably not just looking at your customer's website. I'm looking all over the place. I'm asking friends and family for recommendation. I'm Googling reviews, checking up on what's hip on social media. In essence, I'm looking at all this data to make an informed decision. Your customer needs to be equipped with the ability to respond to these interactions, and they need to build for scale and adapt to the evolving customer needs and expectations. Multi-cloud B2C implementations are complex, involving these multiple clouds and platforms like Marketing Cloud, Salesforce platform, Commerce platform. You might also have an ESB like MuleSoft or another ESB within the architecture. So this architecture is complex. A properly designed solution that probably spans all of these clouds, provides the foundation for giving you the ability to have a single view of the customer. It also gives you the ability to have a unique insight into customer behavior and gives your organization transformational capabilities. Now, if you're responsible for designing parts of, or maybe all of the solution, then you need to be cognizant of these different components, how they interact, what data do they master, their strengths and weaknesses, so that you can decide what trade-offs you need to make when you're thinking about integration or master data management or automation. Now, it's very easy to focus on the technical aspects of the implementation and get bogged down by the details where you start to think about design purely in terms of data storage, data flow, and number of interfaces, etc. But as a solution architect, it's also your job to zoom out and think about the customer journey, the customer experience, and the employee experience. You should also consider change management impact because of the design decisions that you're making. You also need to recognize some common patterns involved in a typical B2C implementation. And some of these patterns, for example, abandoned cart pattern, or abandoned cart means someone's checked into the cart but has abandoned the journey. Then you have the recommendations. If you've chosen this product, then here are some recommended products for you, for the end user. Transactional emails. Now, some or all of these patterns have recommended solution kits associated with them. These solution kits were created by product and architect experts within Salesforce, but also in collaboration with some of the external SMEs, subject matter experts. So when you start preparing for the B2C Solution Architect certification, you will come across content either on Trailhead or on Partner Learning Camp that will help you understand these patterns and solution kits. Now, all of this means that you'll be or all of this attempt what all of this attempts to do is to make you implementation ready. Once you've taken the course or prepared for the certification, you will possess the knowledge and skills to confidently design your solution, knowing that it's based on best practice. Now, here are some reasons to be implementation ready when you're working on a project. You need to understand the trade-offs involved in multi-cloud solution. If you're working within a specific industry, or you've worked within multiple domains, you know that no two industries or domains are the same. A solution that works best for a media customer uh, and end user won't work for a heavily regulated industry like insurance or banking. Now you will learn to appreciate the nuances involved in different industries and domains. You'll also gain the confidence to lead solution design discussions with business, technical, and delivery teams and stakeholders. And finally, you should consider the B2C enablement because this capability and skill is currently in high demand. Hopefully, I was able to convince you that doing the B2C certification is a worthwhile pursuit. So let's look at what the certification itself entails. First and foremost, to sit the B2C Solution Architect exam, you must have these three required prerequisite certifications. Now, this includes the Platform App Builder, Integration Architect, and Marketing Cloud Email Specialist. Now, these prereqs line up well with the intent of the B2C cert, which is to ensure that a certified solution architect is an individual who is well-rounded and can design multi-cloud solutions on the Salesforce platform. For completeness, I'm also showing you this solution architect pyramid. This session, we are talking about the B2C solution architect path, but you also have the B2B solution architect path, and here are the prereqs for B2B. We've created tons of resources for B2B solution architect. There is also, if you're interested in doing the B2B solution architect certification, we have a Trailhead Academy course on B2B solution architect training, which will help you prepare for the B2B exam, a B2B solution architect exam. So if you're interested, go to the Trailhead Academy page and search for B2B solution architect, and you'll find the relevant course that you can take to prepare for the B2B solution architect certification. Okay, so let's look at what's on this exam. So we followed the standard certification exam development model that starts with a job task analysis to uncover all the tasks that a minimally qualified candidate must be able to perform as a B2C solution architect. We set up a council of subject matter experts, both from internal Salesforce, but also externally from the ecosystem like partners and customers. So we set up a council of SMEs and we created a consultation process. And we ended up with these 5 overarching domains that you see on the screen. Now, these 5 domains and their objectives focus on the most critical knowledge, skills, and abilities in which a candidate must be proficient when working in a multi-cloud environment. Now, if you've taken a Salesforce exam before, or perhaps any other certification, you know that not all sections of an exam are weighted evenly. That is, some topics have more questions than others. I've listed the 5 domains here and their weightings. That is the percentage of the exam that will be dedicated to each domain on the screen. So you can see that the architecture design has the highest weightage, followed by data models and management. And now within these 5 domains, we have over, I think, 20 test objectives, which are created based on the role-specific tasks for a B2C solution architect identified by our SMEs. Now, on this slide, I've identified some of the more heavily weighted tasks that are spread across these 5 domains. And they include things like gathering, validating, and estimating customer requirements, which we hope that you're familiar with. As a B2C architect, we also expect you to be familiar with the business processes related to customer acquisition, post-purchase, and loyalty management. And of course, the most important part of B2C architecture design is the data modeling process, especially data integration across clouds. And then we also expect you to have understanding about the data management around residency, storage, and compliance rules, and how to determine a common identity across platforms for the individual. This individual could possibly have multiple profiles across different systems, and how you can use something like customer data platform to create that common identity and identify and raise implementation risks, or define governance and change management. So this is by no means an exhaustive list. Like I said, we have over 20 test objectives, but this should give you a flavor of the objectives and things that we are testing during the exam. Right, and here's the exam format. So you'll have around 60 questions and 4 non-scored items. It's multiple choice, multiple select questions. You'll have 120 minutes, around 2 hours to complete the exam. The pass rate is 63%, and you'll get section level feedback upon completion. Prereqs, I've already mentioned the 3 prereqs certs that you must hold, but we also recommend that you have at least 4 years of experience when you're taking this exam. Okay, and how do I get ready for the exam? So the obvious place to start is Trailhead and Partner Learning Camp. So on Trailhead, we've created a custom cert preparation trail mix for you with content related to the exam. So it's a good starting point if you're fairly new to B2C world. And of course, you can then earn badges and also engage with fellow trailblazers in the trailblazer community. Now, if you are a registered partner, then you should have access to a partner learning camp, which is a different learning platform available currently to partners. So if you're a partner, you can access PLC, and on PLC we've created a ton, I think around 29, 30 courses focused on B2C. And the focus of these courses is not just to prepare you for the B2C certification, but also prepare you for real world implementation. And I'll share the learning journey that we've created for people who are taking the curriculum in PLC. Oh, sorry. And also you can engage with other test takers in the partner community. We've got a dedicated chatter group for B2C solution architects, and another group, chatter group for B2B solution architects. So that was Trailhead and PLC. Great starting point. But if you're planning to take the exam, we expect you to have done some work in the multi-cloud space. So we encourage you to get as much multi-cloud experience as possible at your workplace. Now, if for some reason you cannot work with certain clouds, then you should certainly view our multi-cloud labs, and I'll share the URL in a minute where these labs are available. Now, these labs show you an end-to-end implementation for a real-world B2C multi-cloud use case scenario. We've created these labs by working with subject matter experts, and these labs are very useful to get a feel for a multi-cloud implementation. And of course, I've already talked about B2C Solution Architect curriculum on PLC, and another resource that we highly recommend that you check out is the Architect Digital Home. It's a great repository of resources. They have design pattern templates. They also have the data model templates that you can view for all of the objects on Salesforce platform. But the two resources that I want to highlight are the Architect Decision Guide and the Well-Architected Framework. So the Architect Decision Guide is a great resource that you can use to compare and contrast different implementations. So if you're an architect and you're working on an implementation and you are trying to figure out which of the different tools that you want to use for solving your specific business scenario, the decision guide is a great resource that walks you through the different options and compares them and gives you a good recommendation of which tool is appropriate given the business problem that you're solving. So definitely check out the Architect Decision Guide. And then you have the Well-Architected Framework. The well-architected framework shows you what a good implementation looks like. It's a repository of patterns and anti-patterns and best practices, and it was created by experts, product experts, and architects within Salesforce, but also architects within the ecosystem. So I would check out the well-architected framework. And here's the link for where you can find the multi-cloud learning labs. So that's our video art page for B2C Solution Architect. Now, if you change the URL from B2C to B2B, you'll also see the B2B Solution Architect learning labs as well. On this page, apart from the learning labs, we also upload the office hours. We also upload discussions with SMEs where we've done some live solution design around certain topics. So it's yeah, I'd bookmark this page. It's a great resource for any architect, B2C or B2B or otherwise, to look at. But we have 3 learning labs available right now. We have the multi-cloud personalization learning lab, multi-cloud newsletter solution learning lab, which is my personal favorite, and finally the multi-cloud customer data strategy learning lab. Okay. And here's the learning journey that I talked about earlier. Like I said, we've created, as part of the B2C curriculum, we've created around 29, 30 courses. And as you know, instead of, I mean, you can choose to take any course in any order, but here we've provided a recommended learning journey where you can start with the solution design courses, then do the data and integration course, and then governance, customer experience, and industry scenario courses. So we've grouped them and categorized them. If you are only interested in a specific category, you can just go there and take those courses as well. The estimation is around 55 hours. It may take, but your mileage may vary. It might take more or less time. Okay, so here's the architect, a screenshot of the architect digital page. So I talked about the decision guide. So you have the event-driven architecture decision guide, data integration architecture decision guide, and building forms decision guide. And the well-architected framework, which has 3 pillars: trusted, easy, and adaptable. And it goes through, it gives you a good set of recommendation to help guide your architecture decisions during a Salesforce implementation. Okay, and finally, the exam tips and tricks. So during the exam, take your time, relax. I would recommend that you take this exam when you are not stressed, when you are well rested. These exams are scenario-based exams, so you'd have to do a lot of reading. There's a lot of text that you have to go through during the exam. So if you're stressed, that'll only slow you down. So Yeah, the recommendation here is take the exam when you are well rested, when you're not tired. Definitely don't do it at the end of a very busy day. You should answer all items. If you leave any item unanswered, then you get 0 points. You can mark these items for review. So one of the strategies that I would say is that if you are unsure of an answer, if you're not 100% about an answer, rather than agonizing over it and spending a lot of time on it, choose the answer that you think is correct, mark the whole item for review, and then come back and revisit it at the end when there is less pressure to answer. And here are some more tips. Now, this is a good rule of thumb to look for detailed answers. Again, it's just like any rule of thumbs. There are exceptions. This is not always correct, but if you want a clue, if you're looking for a clue of which answer is the correct ones, look for the detailed answer, because the exam writers or the item writers sometimes provide too much detail in the key while leaving distractors less detail. And it's also useful to remember the context of the exam that you're taking. For example, if you're taking the Apple Day exam, then most correct answers are likely to focus on flow or process builder rather than using Apex. And finally, eliminate options that are not plausible. What that means is it's very rare that when you're looking at an item, exam item, that you really don't know any of the answers. You always know that some answers are not plausible and definitely not correct. So you want to eliminate them so that improves your chances of guessing the right answer. Try to look for absolutes like always and never, as again, they are typically not right, but use your judgment. And by eliminating the options, by eliminating the incorrect options, you increase your chances of answering the right one. Okay, and with that, I'd like to thank you for your time and attention, and I hope you got something out of that session. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. Uh, you can just find me on LinkedIn using LinkedIn search, or on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Anoop. And I'd like to thank Amit for giving me this opportunity to present at Apex Hours. With that, thank you.